So once again, you are welcome to Creative Ends International. Thank you for joining me for another tutorials today. Today, I'm making a tutorials on this very beautiful satin gele, and I will be using satin fabric for this. Okay, so if today is your first time you are discovering us, you are welcome, and please do not forget to subscribe to this channel before leaving today. So I would be giving you the details of everything I used to achieve this beautiful gele, because it's a gele. All right, so straight up to the table, we are going to be needing satin fabric. This is satin, but it's not a bright dark satin. Okay, and then I would also be needing chest wadding or breast pad or breast tube, something to just help the satin, because the satin cannot form a smooth pleat on its own and has that kind of weight without help. So we need to help the satin using this chest wadding, and I'm rolling 1.5 inches into 10 places. So 1.5 into 10. So it means that the size of the chest wadding that I would be using for this training is 1.5 inches. So it's necessary you roll with a ruler so that you don't have your chest wadding bending here and there, because once it's not smooth, it's going to have a way of affecting what you are doing. So I always advise that it should be smooth. So after cutting out this chest wadding, we are going to be wrapping it up with satin. So remember I said the chest wadding I cut out is 1.5, so I would be cutting out 3 inches of satin by the length of the chest wadding. So let's say this length, you can use just like 25 inches is perfect. Okay, you can just go like 25 inches all through to be enough for you to do everything. So 25 by 1.5. all right, so this is for the cover of that's the body of the turban. We have 30 by 15, that is, the length is 30, and then the width, or we also call the depth, is 15. And then we also need a part of this satin to create the pleat. And then what I did was to cut out about 18 inches, that is the length, and the depth of 20. So if you are working and you have 17, it's okay, 16 is manageable, so 16 by 20, 25, as the case may be. And it also depends on the pleat you want to create. So to start creating the pleat, we go ahead and give it a double fold so that it can be neat. So you don't just want to like fold it in once and then you start sewing, then you will not get the best of the result. So it's necessary you give it a double fold. You see how my own is looking there, so there is no need looking for a way to weave the button. You don't need that. All right, so you see out, in and out is neat. So it's on top of this very first foundation that we are going to continue pleating for the base. So we are going to continue depending on the number of pleats we want. Let's say for instance you just need 4 pleats. After getting 4 pleats, you can just cut off the excess from the back. So what I'm trying to say is that it's not compulsory that you must use all your material to create the pleat. So if I have 18 by 20 and I'm creating pleats, I felt satisfied at a point, I should be able to stop the pleat and then cut off the excess part from the back. So it's not compulsory you have to like finish and say, oh, the pleat is too much, I don't really want the whole of this pleat. You can stop at the point where you just realize that the pleat is okay. So right now I have the two pleats prepared. The next thing I would be doing is to cross it, put it across each other, all right? And then because this turban is going to be using belt, so we have to, so because of the belt, we have to ensure that the turban is not too long. That's the base. So what we are doing is that from that midpoint where we cross to get our V, yeah, we're just going to take a measurement of 9.5 inches to the left and 9.5 inches to the right. Okay, so you don't exceed 9.5. I will explain why we have to use 9.5, because when you combine 9.5 plus 9.5, you'll be getting 19. And remember that the head circumference is usually between 21 to 24 for adult. Okay, so since it's that way, you don't really need to get up to 21 before your belt. So before your belt, if you have 18, it's perfect. So we have 9.5 because we'll be using 0.5 on the end to fix the belt to it. So you can see when we fold now, we have 9.5. Okay, so already this base is crossed and is ready. It's very easy as a beginner to do the base like this. Okay, so we are just going to go ahead and attach the belt to it before we talk about covering it. This method is easier for beginners, okay, because sometimes when you are done covering, you might start having some kind of challenges in trying to fix the belt to it. So I think it's important for beginners. If you can just go through this method the way I'm doing now, you'll get a perfect work done. Okay, so we go ahead, we fix the belt. The belt can be any length that you want, so but at least it should not be less than 12. Okay, because when it's less than 12, it might be difficult to give it a second tie. After tying your first time and you try to tie again, you might not really find it easy to tie it twice. So it's necessary that you make sure it is up to 12. But if you want it above 12, it's fine. You can go up to 15, but I know that 12 is just perfect. Okay, so what I have there is even more than 12. I'm going to cut out of it by the time I'm doing my finishing. So you can see how I just did the belt, and you see how neat it is looking. Okay, so we are going to fix it on both sides. We are going to have it left, right. All right, so it's ready. So we go ahead now and cover this turban. We are going to cover. So we are going to be using right side facing right side on the two material. Remember, the measurement for the cover is 30 by 15. So we have it into two places. That two places we have is the reason why we can like fix the base in between, so that every rough work within the base can be hidden. Okay, so we go ahead and close. While we close, we are going to be leaving some parts before the handle. Okay, just not to confuse you. If not, I would have started sewing from that end, but some persons might be confused. So that's why I'm just going to start at the point where the first handle is. Okay, then I'll run it down this way. Just watch what I would be doing towards the end, because that's that's the reason I did not start from the end that way, because I wanted you to see and understand how you are supposed to go about it. Okay, so we just keep sewing normally until we get to the point where the second belt is. So when we get to the point where the second belt is, that is where I am right now. Okay, we go ahead and then push this belt in, so that you make sure that you are not going to sew it. Okay, so you push it in and then bring the two edge of the covers together and sew. So when you sew at this time, it's just going to help you to separate your handle and then have the turban as big as you would want it, okay, so that the turban can fit into the head properly. So this is what we have right now. We want to close this turban, and remember I told you that we have 15, no, we have 30 by 15. So on a fold, 30 will become 15. So you can close it at 14.5 or you can close it at 14. Okay, just ensure that it can freely sit on the head, okay, and also ensure that no part of the turban is left unsewn among the materials we are putting together, especially at that beginning. So this is the cap, okay. So the main reason why we are here is the design. All right, for those that are beginners, I did this cap because of you. So for those that are not beginners, we just move straight to the design. We go ahead now to fix the chest wording inside the fabric and then fold it the way you see me folding now. Fold it, okay, like this, and then you top stitch. Remember I said we are using 10 pieces of these stripes, call it stripes, so we're using 10 of it, okay. So this is how you prepare the whole of the 10. That is to tell you that this style is a little bit time consuming. You need to give some time for it to really come out perfect. All right, the reason why most of us don't get our jobs done properly is time. Sometimes we just get tired and we're like, oh, I can't waste the whole of this time on this thing. Instead of making 10, so no, let me just make 5. So please, you know that you need time to get your good job done. So the 10 stripes are ready. My cap is also ready. So here we go. So what do? We are going to start by placing the number 1 stripe on the cap, and then to do that we'll need to sew it. So you'll be using your needle and thread to sew. So you are not going to glue, and of course you cannot pack the whole of the stripe at once on the base and then begin to sew them. It's not going to come out well, okay. So everything has to be done bit by bit. So if you look at my sewing now, you will find out that I actually stopped halfway. So there's a reason for that. So right now we'll just go ahead and begin to use our hot glue to fix the remaining 9. So we are going to be using the hot glue. You don't need to sew, of course, if your hot glue is very hot, okay. You don't need to sew. Just go ahead and fix it with your hot glue. Remember that we attach the base, which is the beginning, using needle and thread. So please, this is a way of reminder that do not start by gluing your stripe. It's not advisable, okay. Have a first stripe that is sewn, and then after the sewn one you can go ahead and begin to glue. So this is just how I would continue to glue until I put the final one, which is going to be number 10. So maybe some persons want to say, must it be 10? No, you can do 6, you can do 8, you can do 15 depending on how high you want. For me, 10 is perfect, okay. So this is 10, this is the height of 10, and it's perfect for me. So you can see the reason why I have to leave this part out. You see that I needed to be able to freely twist and do whatever I want to do with that side, okay. So you can do anything whatsoever with that side. You can just keep rolling it by yourself, and then you go ahead and then sew it down, or you can systematically roll like what I am doing. I'm just doing like I'm twisting. Okay, so I shed the stripes into two and then bring one to the front, which is the from the top itself. Okay, then I take the next one to the back and then cross the second one to the front, take the other one to the back. You can do whatsoever pattern you wish to do. All right, you can go ahead and achieve anything. Anything is possible so long you are a creator. You can come up with anything every day. Sometimes we make some mistakes while trying to work, and then we say, oh, let it just be like that, it's still okay. Before you know, our mistakes become the trending styles. All right, so don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to get creative. Just get creative and see what comes out of your creativity and turn it into a trending style. All right, just don't rest until you see that what you have achieved is beautiful. So we just go ahead and just twist together. At this point, we are not going to be using hot glue, but we are going to be working with needle and thread. Okay, because you cannot just give a full twist with hot glue. It's not going to work. So at this point, you are going to carefully use your needle and thread to achieve the result that you are looking for. All right, so we are done twisting. We'll go ahead at this point to fix our handle to it, and once we are done fixing handle, we are done. You can add embellishment to this turban. Me, I did not add any form of embellishment, but if you like, you can do some little touches with embellishment and it will still come out very well. So thank you so much for stopping by Creative Ends International. If you like our video, please do subscribe, recommend this channel to other persons so that we can grow. Okay, thank you very much. I'll see you in my next video. So from my end, it will be goodbye. Do have a nice day. Creative Ends love you. Bye.